Good day, America. This is your hillbilly historian from the hills of East Tennessee, coming to you to give you history and facts about your country that you'll never read in a history book. You have to look all this stuff up yourself, and it's hard to find, and a lot of people can't put two and two together and come up with four. But that's why I'm here to help you to make sense out of your country and why you should love your country and be totally loyal and agreeable with your country, working for your country, unless they do something really stupid like LBJ and get us in a war in Vietnam, or something stupid like Bush gets us into Iraq and Afghanistan wars that are totally ridiculous and stupid and wasteful of American lives and wealth. But hey, speaking of wealth, I want to talk about America's wealth today. I want to talk about this country and money, because this country is all about making tons and tons of money. We people in this country who work and work smart and use every means necessary to prevent the government from stealing your wealth. It is amazing what you can do in this country, the United States of America. Did you know we have more than 22 million millionaires in the United States today? Over 22 million millionaires. That's 1 out of every 15 people. Now, most of them are congregated in certain areas like Scarsdale, New York, or Silicon Valley in California, or Houston, Texas. There's places where every neighbor you got is a multimillionaire. But in small towns across America, right here in the town I live in, there's a young lady who owns a Chinese restaurant, has run it for many years, and she's a multimillionaire. We got a young man who has another restaurant, and he lives in a huge mansion here in our county. He just he works hard. She works hard, and they accumulate money. They make money. They earn money. They work day and night, and they earn money, tons and tons of money. Because if you have a good business, you know, and a man runs a business in a smart manner, he's going to be a millionaire. It's just, if he don't waste his money, he's going to be a millionaire. And America is great for that. Now, we not only have over 22 million millionaires, 1 out of every 15 people, but did you know that number is increasing by 7.65% a year? That means every year we have another 1.6 million millionaires. It ain't going to be long till everybody in this country is going to be a millionaire. And Lord God, the number of people that stole billions out of our treasury under the Biden administration, that probably increased not only the number of millionaires, but the number of billionaires. Speaking of billionaires, we have 765 billionaires in the United States of America. 765. If you put all the European countries together, all of them, you put them together, you can only come up with about 500 billionaires. That's all the European countries. England, France, Germany, Sweden, Norway, Russia, only 500 billionaires. And we got 765 here in the USA. Japan only has, I think, 44 billionaires. It's awesome. America is about working hard and making money, making big bucks. Our economy leads every economy in the world. In fact, our economy is bigger than the other rest of the world put together. But anyway, that's why everybody figures out ways to steal from America. And our dumb bunnies in D.C., let them do it. You know, this country has today $15 trillion companies. $15 trillion companies. There's not a one in Europe. There's not a one in Japan. There's 4 in China, $1 trillion companies. And guess who made those $1 trillion companies? Americans got them started over there. And of course, Chinese took them away from us. But hey, there you go. United States, greatest economy in the world. And you know, this country used to make so much money back around the early 1900s, late 1800s. They used to hold committee meetings to try to come up with ways to spend the money. They had so much. You know, we paid for the Civil War, we paid for the Spanish-American War, we paid for all the Indian wars, and we did it all with tariffs. And used to, foreign companies wanted to sell their product in the United States, we charged tariffs. That's a tax on them getting to spend their money in our country or sell their products in our country and make money in our country. We used to charge tariffs. In fact, the entire burden, cost of our government was paid for by tariffs, and had been up until the banks held a secret meeting in Jekyll Island in 1913. Rothschilds had an agent there. Of course, J.P. Morgan had an agent there, and all these people. And they plotted and came up with a plan on how to steal America's wealth. And darned if they didn't pull it off. They created the 16th Amendment, lied to America. Oh, you know, you gotta make over $4,000 a year to pay any tax at all. That was back in 1916. They passed the 16th Amendment, which permitted the government to charge an income tax. Well, they shifted the burden of our government from tariffs from companies, foreign companies that wanted to do business in America. They shifted that burden from them to the backs of our working people, our American working man, with the income tax. So that burden was shifted to us and taken away from foreigners. And the American people succumbed to that fraud, that deceitful move to steal our wealth. And they started the Federal Reserve, where the government could borrow money. And today, I think we owe close to $40 trillion, and we're paying something like $1 trillion a year now in interest, and that all goes to the banks. And so they came up with this way to steal the American wealth. And today, Donald Trump is trying to shift that burden back to tariffs and get it off the backs of the American people, because China and the EU is formed for one reason, and one reason only, and that was to take away the American wealth, to steal from us. And they do, to the tune of about $250 billion a year that they earn over what we earn from them. China does the same thing. They pull in about $500 billion a year profit over the United States. And Trump is trying to reverse that. And if he pulls it off and makes, this will make America even wealthier than it is now. We'll even have more millionaires and more billionaires and maybe eventually one day a trillionaire. And it's just absolutely amazing, the wealth of the American people. And all it takes is hard work and smart work and using the free market economy of the United States to work within, and you can become unbelievably wealthy. And that's what this country is all about. And that's why the founders came over here. And we can put a stop to the government stealing our wealth, which the banks are using our government to steal our wealth. If we can put a stop to that foolishness, and where people can keep more of their money, you'll see many, many more millionaires. But we've got to put a stop to the banks and the government stealing your wealth through these deceitful means, because, hey, they sit up all night long. You know, you work day and night, many days a week. You're tired. You go to bed and get sleep. You rest so you can work the next day. And these bankers sit up all night plotting how to steal that money you're earning. And we got to get smarter than the bankers and put a stop to the theft, put a stop to EU stealing our wealth, to China stealing our wealth, and other countries who are smarter than our dumb politicians in D.C. We got to put a stop to our dumb politicians giving our wealth away to foreign countries. They get a small kickback, and they're willing to give away your wealth just so they can accumulate a little bit of wealth. And that's got to be stopped, and Trump's trying to do that. And Biden and his administration is a perfect example of how easy it is to steal American wealth, and for these bureaucrats to get kickbacks from giving money away through USAID and all that stuff. I mean, why should Chelsea Clinton receive $84 million from USAID, and for what? She's spent it all on herself. And then there's the Department of Energy, gave away $93 billion between the November election, where Trump was elected last November, and when Trump was sworn in January the 20th. They gave away $93 billion, which is twice as much as they gave away in the previous 15 years. So don't tell me the Biden family was not a major criminal family, crime family, stealing your wealth and giving it away to all their buddies and friends. So anyway, that is the story of the free marketplace of America. We just got to get the socialists and the communists, got to keep them out of the way, and America will even become more and more wealthy. The people of America will become more and more wealthy. Bring back manufacturing. Stop American companies from moving their manufacturing overseas to take advantage of no tariffs here in the United States, sell our products back here and not having to pay a fee for doing that. So let's put a stop to that with high tariffs, make them bring manufacturing back to the USA, and quit trying to use the fact we don't have any tariffs and using cheap labor overseas to make products for practically nothing and then sell them back here in the USA without having to pay a fee for doing that. We force them to bring their manufacturing back here, make tariffs so high that they cannot sell their products here in the United States. Hey, you don't need 10 pair of tennis shoes, you can live with 2 pair. You don't need 30 t-shirts in your drawer, you can live with 4 or 5. You don't need 20 suits in your closet, you can live with 5 or 6. We don't need all this stuff that we're getting real cheap, and we just don't need to be obsessed by owning stuff, possessions, stuff you can do with less. And high tariffs will make your life a lot better, and you'll get to keep more of your money with people like Trump in there. So anyway, this is your hillbilly historian bringing you facts about how wealthy this country is and how it could be more wealthy if we bring a stop to the thieves in D.C. and prevent these deceitful bankers from stealing your wealth that you earn and they take it away from you. And this is your hillbilly historian from the hills of East Tennessee bringing you knowledge about your country. And thank you so much.